Research. So we spoke a little bit about primary sources. We have lists of literature for students to read that are tied to each of our open-ended history question. So sometimes they're challenging, sometimes they're easy, but they're real history, and it's really exciting to hear what people at that time wrote and how they thought. I write a current event article once a week, and I send it out by email. The current event is current event for youth, ages 10 to 18. My oldest daughter, Jessica, writes a current event article, current event for kids, for ages 5 to 10. And during tax season, I wrote an article on, tax day. What is tax day? When is it coming? And then all of my current event articles show the historical context in which they came from. So before 1913, the federal government did not tax our income. This came from the 16th Amendment. So that's part of the current event. And then I researched, what did the Founding Fathers think about taxes? Well, one of the things that most Founding Fathers thought is that taxes on income weren't bad, but they should be handled by the states. Another thing they thought was that taxes on the poor should be higher, because anybody who is poor should feel the pain of it, so they will work harder to get out of being poor. Such a great difference in opinion than what we would ever hear from anybody today. It was wonderful. It was very exciting to read that. So I found that out through reading a primary source document. By the way, the email that you gave me, I will be sending you a current event per week on Wednesday. And if you don't like it, just opt out of it. But it will send you to my current event site, where I have now about 7 months of current event articles. And some of them are not going away, like the Arab-Israeli conflict or Common Core. Most of them are not going away. But they're a one-page article and with 5 questions for discussion. So I use them in my history classes. At about the 12th or 13th week, the students need a little variety in their studies of history. And so I'll teach a class, we'll read a current event and we'll discuss it. And then I'll give them an assignment, go to my website, read another current event, and next week you're presenting it and you're leading the discussion. So that is it's one of the fun things that you can do with history and with current events. I had 400 copies of this current event printed out, but I think we left it at home. So my 2 little daughters, who are 9 and 7, will be prepared. Will be dressed as Cleopatra, the other as Pocahontas. They're going to be handing out the current events tomorrow. Unless we found it in the car. So, fiction. We're very careful using fiction, because fiction can be misused so easily with history. A story such as The Crucible, written in the 60s, I believe, about the Salem witch trials, was really about the McCarthy era involving communists in Hollywood. So we have to be very careful sometimes in reading fiction, that the author's purpose is not to teach history, but to teach relationships and theme. So our lists are good, and that they don't confuse the children in that area.